Everybody, what's going on? So today I wanted to talk about a topic that I don't really see a lot of content on YouTube about, and I really think that it would be helpful to talk about and to share my experience with it. And the topic is addiction. And I know that in my experience, there's a lot of different things that in the modern age we can get ourselves addicted to. We can get addicted to scrolling on Instagram, like social media. We can get addicted to obviously drugs, including alcohol, because alcohol is also a drug. We can get addicted to internet videos that you probably shouldn't be watching, you know what I'm talking about. There's a lot of different things that we can get ourselves hooked onto that in the moment can give us pleasure, but overall it makes us feel horrible. It makes us feel really shitty about ourselves. And so the question is, like, how can we stop that? How can we stop that cycle of like feedback where it's like, oh, the instant gratification from this addiction leads to then negative feelings about the self. However, later on, or that same day, we go back to it and back to it and back to it, even though we know the consequences. Living that kind of hedonistic type of life. So how can we stop that? So I'll tell you about my experience. So for me, I did have in the past, a problem with drinking, and alcohol was a really effective drug for me because it would clear your mind of any negative thoughts that I was having. It would make you feel happy, make me feel more social. I have more confidence when I'm talking to people, less inhibition, and it tasted good. At least it did for me then. I don't drink anymore, thank God. And also with like smoking weed and stuff, it just makes you feel good in the moment, and you have that instant gratification. But there's a thing that you probably have felt, where it's like after you do that thing, you feel kind of guilty, you feel kind of bad about yourself, because you think that if I looked back when I was younger, did I think that I'd be doing this? Like, what did I think about people that do what I'm doing right now? Drinking and alcohol and smoking weed and being addicted to porn. Like, if you met somebody and they told you that hey, I have these addictions, wouldn't you kind of judge them? I mean, we shouldn't, but naturally we would, in your head, not aloud, at least. So now you're the one that's doing it, and so what do you think that's making you feel? What do you think? How do you think that affects your perception of yourself? And obviously that can lead to a lot of negative thoughts about yourself. It will lead to negative thoughts about yourself. It could get worse and lead to depression. And so it's really tough, because we're giving up instant gratification for, let's say for the release of these negative thoughts, of this negative self-image, and obviously all the other negative effects of addiction, whether it be porn, whether it be alcohol and drugs, whether it be even, like, let's say, overeating, all of these things. So like I was saying, for me, when I was going through that, I ended up finding Alcoholics Anonymous through a friend of mine. And when I would go to the meetings and I had that sense of community, you start to feel kind of responsibility for your actions, because you're like, well, hey, I'm a part of this. group and this community of people that are staying sober, so you feel more responsibility. You feel kind of like good when you go to the meeting and you share or stuff like that. Now, I really recommend that if that's something that you're going through with drugs or alcohol. Also, Narcotics Anonymous, it doesn't have to be, you didn't have to do like 10 pounds of like coke in your life to go to NA. It's just any drug in general, and alcohol is a drug which is included in there, which I've been to meetings myself, and it really helps out, you know. Thankfully today I don't do any of that stuff anymore, and I've really grown as a person, and I like who I am today. So yeah, as I was saying, that was the kind of, that really helped me with that addiction. So if you're going through like an addiction to an actual drug, let's say, I really highly recommend going to a meeting. There's even Skype meetings, there's Zoom meetings, that it's, you know, less of a barrier to entry for you, that could, you know, you could really benefit from. And it's kind of embarrassing and you feel kind of shy at first, but who cares? You're doing it for yourself. And I also wanted to talk about porn addiction. So let's be honest, I mean, in the modern age, let's say 99% of men, you know, watch porn on the internet. So what are you doing to yourself when you're consuming that kind of content? Well, first of all, you're making yourself feel like a loser, because you're literally you know, masturbating to someone who is having sex with a girl that you want to have sex with. That sounds like pretty loser behavior. And it's not to make you feel bad or to judge anybody, but that's literally what you're doing. So when you do that, how do you feel about yourself afterwards? You feel horrible, but you come back to it because your brain convinces you, when you have that sexual urge or something, to go back to that. So there's a lot of resources out there. There's definitely NoFap and all this stuff, but I find that for at least a short amount of time, let's say 1 week, ignore those, let's say, urges, and give your attention to something else when you feel that. So let's say you feel that kind of like urge to go online and look at that kind of stuff. Turn your phone off. Go outside and go for a run. Go to the gym. Do these things. Just replacement behavior for at least like a week, and see how you feel. You start to feel better about yourself because you're not doing something that leads you to disrespect yourself, to have a lack of respect in yourself. And you'll really feel the difference after you do that for a while, and you start to see the shift in the kind of thoughts that you have throughout the day, and you start to feel better about yourself overall. So, and also eventually, you know, we want to find an actual person that we love and be in a secure, loving relationship with, and, you know, get married and have sex with that person, right? That's the ultimate goal. But first, for you to get out of this kind of mental state, it's totally necessary for you to stop watching porn and leave that behind, leave it in the past. Forgive yourself for those things that you did, and just leave it alone. Just turn your phone off, block the internet, do whatever you have to do, but just give yourself 1 week to try it and really just see how you feel. And I promise you're gonna feel so much better about it. So, and like in my experience, obviously, like I'm in a relationship, so I don't consume that anyway, because if I were to, then I would feel like I'm being like unloyal to that person, to my fiance, because it's like I'm looking at another woman and that's not something that you'd want your partner to do to you, right? So I find that bad on multiple levels. Let's say if you're in a relationship, and so you want to stay away from that too, because it can lead to worse things. It could lead to you actually cheating on your spouse in real life. So you definitely want to stay away from those things. But basically, overall, in terms of addiction in general, I would say keep it very simple. Just keep it one day at a time, like they say in NA and AA. Find a group of people in AA and NA if you're dealing with a drug problem. And if it's other type of behaviors, I would definitely, if there's someone that you can confide in, if it's just like on YouTube, you can leave me a comment and we can talk. And I want to help people. So I would say it's super important to confide in someone that you really trust, that you can trust with something like that, and have a sense of community with them and a sense of responsibility. Like, hey man, I want you to keep me accountable. I've been drinking too much. I want you to keep me accountable. I want you to call me. I want you to make sure that I'm on the right path, right? It could be your brother, it could be your uncle, it could be your dad, it could be your best friend, it could be anybody, but someone that you trust. And just recognize also the small wins. I went one day without, let's say, for example, you went one day without looking at porn. You went, 2 days without a drink. I went a whole week without smoking weed. Like, that's a big step, because if you look in the past, you weren't doing that. You might have been drinking every day. You might have been smoking weed every day. You might have been looking at porn every day. So recognize those small wins and really, give yourself the credit for those. And also, I would say another great step is to journal. Write down exactly how you're feeling. Write down, if you're feeling like, you want to relapse on those habits, write that down. Write down what you can do right now to help yourself. And I feel like those are really good like solutions to this problem. And slowly you're gonna see it. You're gonna see the benefits, and you're gonna see how you're going up and feeling better about yourself and overcoming those habits. Okay, so I wanted to leave you guys this video to let you know that you're not alone. Everyone has been through this kind of stuff, especially here in America. There's so many ways for you to get addicted to anything. Drugs are everywhere, alcohol is everywhere, porn is everywhere. Instagram is basically softcore porn. Like, it's everywhere. So the world wants you to be addicted to these things so that companies can make money and that people can make money off of your addictions. But no, we're stronger than that. We're better than that, and we can do respectable things that make us proud of ourselves. So I wanted to leave you guys with that, and I hope you guys have a great day. And just keep in mind, you're a human being, but you can do this, and I'm here to help. You guys can leave a comment, and I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day. Take care.